Welcome to another video of mp4 Labs video tutorials. In this video we're going to talk about bridge networking, namely where would you need a bridge, why should you use a bridge, and so on. Well, in this video we've got like 4 parts. The first part where we talk about what is a bridge, where do you use it, the different kind of examples that you could actually use a bridge, and so on, different kind of bridges. The second part where we go into the operating system Windows XP and talk how you could actually show you how you could actually create a bridge and what kind of configuration you have to do before and after you create the bridge. The third and fourth part would be actually referred to layer 2 bridging and layer 3 bridging. So depending, it would be we would actually go into the depth of the aspects of bridging, that how it works and so on. So if you're interested in the first part, you could just watch the video until probably the minutes for 30 minutes, 30-40 minutes, and if you're interested completely to see how it works completely and so on, you could watch the whole video. So depending on the need, I just thought it would be better first off to explain this and then move ahead to the depth of the bridge networking aspects and so on. Okay, so to start off, first of all, the question that you might ask is that where do I need a bridge? Well, bridge is used in networks. For example, you need to connect 2 different networks to each other, although they are using 2 different medias. For example, one of your networks that you have is connected with phone lines. The other network that you have is an Ethernet network and it's connected with Ethernet cables and so on. For example, if you've got another network which is a wireless network, either an ad hoc wireless network or a wireless infrastructure, and you want to connect it to a wired network such as an Ethernet network, such as a phone line network, such as an HPNA network, depending on your needs. So when you want to connect 2 different networks to each other, for example, as you see here, I've got one network here. These 2 computers are connected to a phone line adapter. It's a HPNA network here, and here we've got another network. It's an Ethernet network. 3 computers are connected to a switch. But if I didn't have this one, okay, this network wouldn't have been able to communicate with this one, and this network wouldn't have been able to communicate with this one. But with the aid of the bridge, okay, it would be able to these 2 networks will be able to communicate with each other. For example, these 2 computers would be able to use the internet connection, they would be able to share files in each other, and so on and so on. Okay, so as you see here, as the bridge here, I'll put a big B on it, as the bridge here, we've got a computer placed in it. So to make it clear, we've got 2 types of bridges. One are software bridges and the other one are hardware bridges. I think you can see it here. This is a Linksys bridge, where actually this is the hardware bridge, actually some device that you connect the networks to and it will just do the rest for you. But when you're using actually Windows XP, for example, to create your bridge and connect 2 different connections, 2 different networks to each other, that would be a software bridge. The reason is that you're actually installing the software on your computer that would afterwards that it would actually act as a bridge. Okay, so we've got 2 different bridges, software bridges and hardware bridges. Hardware bridges are a device simply like this, and we've got software bridges like the one that you're just installing on your XP computer. Okay, so that's about it. So let's go ahead to say what do we have here. Okay, well, here as you see, as we said, when these shapes here are actually meant to be bridges. So okay, well, as you see here, we've got 3 different segments or 3 different networks. Okay, segment 1, network 1, network 2, network 3. Okay, and they are bridged one by one to each other. Okay, when they are bridged one by one to each other, the bridge actually would be looking at them as a one big logical segment, and as we said, the traffic in segment 3, segment 2 and segment 1 would remain in itself, and it actually won't be bothering the other networks and bringing load traffic to them. Okay, so, and the other one, here's another example. For example, we've got another network here and they are all connected to a bridge device. Either it could be a bridge hardware like the Linksys one that we just saw, or it could be a computer running a bridge software on it. So again, this would be actually, to the bridge, it would be actually a big logical network, for those who understand, a big broadcast domain, a complete logical logical broadcast domain, but the traffic stays and remains in each of these segments as well. Okay, so either we could actually connect all of our segments to one bridge device, or we could actually connect them one by one to each other, such like this. Okay, so let's go and take a look at what kind of examples do we have here. Okay, so the first example, as we saw there, let's just give it a flashback. Here we had one HPNA network, here we had one Ethernet network, and the computer here was actually acting as a bridge and connecting these two networks to each other. Okay, let's go to the next example. Okay, here as you see, again we've got an Ethernet network here, two computers connected to a switch, another Ethernet network here, two computers connected to a switch, and this computer in the middle is acting as a bridge. Okay, a couple of things you have to know. The computer that is going to act as a bridge has to have connectivity to this network and has to have connectivity to this network. Okay, so if we are going to connect, for example, two networks to each other, this computer should have connectivity to both networks. Namely, it has to have two network cards here and here, which would be able to communicate with these two networks. And our own concern before bridging would be that this network doesn't have access to this network and doesn't have communication, and this network doesn't have access to this network. So by creating our bridge, actually it would be able, this computer